Marcia, I am so happy to be talking with you today, and I have just loved having you in Revitalized Wellness. And for those of you that are watching this on a video, Marcia was in my Revitalized Wellness group program that we did online, a 12-week program that basically takes you from A to Z in stress management and how to build a solid foundation so that you are truly having a comprehensive approach to wellness. And Marcia has stood out as one of my star students because she truly took the information from the program and ran. And if ever there was a student of mine that really, truly applied everything that I did, she asked a lot of great questions and she's had some amazing results because of it. And so because of that, I wanted to just talk to Marcia, have her share some of her journey for any of you that are wondering what Revitalized Wellness is all about. Marcia, welcome.
Thank you.
And let's just get right into it. I wanted to know if you could share what were some of the things that you were struggling with before you joined Revitalized Wellness, and what was it that prompted you to reach out to me to join the program?
For me, I felt like I was in a tailspin. My life was so stressful. I have 4 kids, and I'm recently a stay-at-home mom this year, which was one of the best things that I did for my mental well-being.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a child with special needs, and so I've been putting all of my time and energy and effort into preserving my family
Mm-hmm.
and not preserving myself. And so I felt just like I was crashing. And when I had seen the information and you're like, hey, I want to give you guys this hope and I want to help you guys through this. I messaged you and something in me just was like, this is what I need. I need to change something. And I don't know where to start. Everything that I had done up to that point had been unsuccessful. The diet plans and workout like crazy and everything like that. And everything that should have been working for me wasn't working. And I didn't know why. And so that was the tipping point for me. And that was the best choice that I ever made, was sending you that message.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So,
and I guess that is the differentiation between my program and maybe some of the other, health programs that are out there, is that they are centered around a specific diet or a specific workout program. And maybe some of those will combine the two. But what I noticed as a missing piece in the wellness industry was people weren't talking about the impact that stress has on women. So I loved what you said about how you tried a lot of other programs before you, and it was diet or it was really intense workout programs. But what you were finding was that it wasn't helping you to feel better. And in fact, you were, maybe even feeling a little bit worse. And so what I've noticed is that there is a hole within programs that are offered in the wellness industry, because we have so many experts on diet or exercise. And sometimes you'll find that some of those will be combined into one program, but nobody is talking about the impact of stress. And, if you're exercising with extreme intensity and you're being very restrictive in a diet, and by restrictive, I mean that can be, completely like cutting out an entire macronutrient group, or it can be like severely like restricting your calories. You're basically perpetuating the stress that's in your body. And so that's probably what you were experiencing.
Exactly.
Tell me, so you joined Revitalized Wellness. What did you think it was going to be, and did that match up? Or, what was kind of your experience in joining the program? And
it was so not what I thought it was going to be, in a good way. But I thought, okay, well, I'm clearly doing something wrong. So Erica's going to sit down with me and she's going to tell me, this is what you should be eating. Eat this, don't eat this. You're exercising wrong, so you need to do more of this and less of this, and have this whole perfect plan laid out of every day what I was supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. And it was so not that. I mean, the fact that you started off with stress is a choice, and that knocked me on my butt, because I thought, how is that possible? Like, you have no idea. My life is so crazy. This is the bed that I've made and I'm laying in it, and my life is just stressful, and that's just how it is.
Mm-hmm.
And to realize that I had a say in how crazy my life was and how I responded to that for the situations that I can't change was instrumental to me. So the fact that you started with that, and even, you know, when we started talking about diet way further down into the modules, and same with exercise, and realizing that it wasn't a how-to guide with that you weren't, you know, you were giving us guidelines, but you weren't telling us what to eat, what not to eat day to day. You can only have 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise for the rest of your life, things like that. So
That's part 2 of the program.
yeah, exactly. But knowing that, you know, that I have some say in that, and that I can control that, and that I'm allowed to have chocolate once in a while, and it's not going to kill me or completely derail me. And that exercise can be a stressor. And that was a huge eye opener to me too. It's like, well, no wonder I've been, you know, that I could work out 5 times a week, 6 times a week, and not lose 1 ounce or 1 inch, because that threw my body into a more stressful state. So, you know, it was completely different than what I expected it to be, but it had better results than I ever could have hoped for.
Oh, that's so awesome. And you're right. Like, that's exactly what I intended for it to be. I didn't want it to be, you know, like just follow exactly, you know, the steps that worked for me, because what works for me may not work for you. And I think that's the thing, is that, you know, we get really stuck on, well, that worked for my neighbor, so I'm going to try that. And then when your body doesn't respond the same way, because you have a completely different genetic makeup and, you know, predisposition to different things, I mean, we're not cookie cutter. And so for me to develop a program that says, you know, this is what works for everybody, and try it. I mean, I would feel like I was basically like setting everybody up for failure, because again, what worked for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. But what it is you have the ability to manage your stress. And like you said, you didn't know where to start, and you just needed that guideline. And so many women are thinking that the answer to feeling overwhelmed and burnt out, and, you know, the weight gain and the hormonal change, they think that the answer is, you know, I just need to do a really restrictive diet. You know, I need to try this new fad, or I just need to be killing myself in the gym 5, 6, 7 times a week and not taking rest. Where, like, you know, we talked about a little bit ago, stress is the foundation to so many ailments, symptoms, diseases. I'm more of a guide for my clients. I want to say, you know, hey, these are some guidelines. Here is a foundation for wellness, but, you know, you take what you want from that. And, you know, you can be like Marcia and go all in, and, you know, like every single thing that you read, you know, you're really going to apply that. Or you can say, hey, that's, you know, that sounds good in theory. You know, maybe that's not going to work for me in the season of my life, you know, but maybe, you know, I'll apply that later. Or, you know, you're just focused on one small change at a time. And that's really what Revitalized Wellness is designed to do, is to really take you through very small steps. We don't want you to change your whole life, right? You know, like, how would you have felt if I would have been like, and, you know, everything that you've known, we're completely going to throw that out and start all over. Like, that feels unsustainable. And Revitalized Wellness is much more about having a sustainable lifestyle that you can do for the rest of your life. You know, you can think about your mindset for the rest of your life. Realize that, you know, how you're reacting to stress, like, that's what impacts what's happening in your body. So tell us, what has been maybe some of, you know, 2 big wins for you?
The first one, it seems silly, but for so long, I had just seen the numbers go up and up and up and up on the scale. And so I think it was, 4 weeks into the program, and we'd really just been focusing on stress and managing our schedules and leaving those gaps in our schedules as time for us to decompress and to not feel like we're being counterproductive by resting. And my life was still crazy. I still have a kid with behavioral health issues and 4 kids and homework and fixing dinner and just being a mom. And so that part of my life didn't change at all. But the way I responded to that did change. And I lost weight for the first time in years. And all I did was change how I thought about my stress.
Yeah, and
that was the best thing, you know, that gave me confidence. It wasn't like I just plunged 15, 20 pounds overnight. It was 3 pounds in 3 weeks. But knowing that I did nothing else, I didn't change the way I ate. I didn't change how much sleep I was getting at that point. I didn't change how much I was exercising, which was pretty much none. All I did was change my mindset in there. And knowing that I had somebody in my corner too, to cheer me on with that and saying, hey, 3 pounds, that's awesome. And not having done anything else. That to me was the best boost for my confidence, for my health, going, you know what, this does change. Stress does change how my body is responding. It was making me hold on to weight in a way that I didn't understand, you know, how the chemicals and the hormones and all of that stuff were changing that. All I knew is that I did what I could, and that was how I responded to my stress. And so for me, that was probably the best victory, because it was something tangible. But I think overall, the best thing that this program has done for me is make me think about my stress and my schedule. Whether I lose another few pounds or not ever again doesn't matter right now, because my why changed. I went into this program wanting to lose weight. Like, that was my goal, hard and fast. I can't lose weight. I don't know what's going on. I want to lose weight. And now I just want to be healthy. I want to feel confident in my own skin, no matter where I am. I want to feel good about who I am, because I have daughters who are watching me. It used to put pressure on me, like, oh, I need to be that mom for my kids. But now I just want to be healthy for my kids. And I realize now also how stressed out I was and how crappy that felt. It felt awful being in that stressful situation. And so now when stress starts to creep up on me, I can recognize it for what it is and change how I respond to that. And that was something that I felt completely incapable of doing 12 weeks ago. Overall, that's my biggest win. I don't care even about the weight loss. Sure, it would be great to keep losing weight, and I have lost more, but knowing that that part of me has changed, just deeply changed, is the best part for me.
Yeah. And I love how you said your situation in life, you know, your family situation, that didn't change at all.
Right.
But how you approached it made all of the difference. So, you know, it wasn't like you just lost a kid, you know, like, you know, it wasn't like, you know, you became a millionaire and you just had all of this access to, you know, a cook and you know, a masseuse and whatever else you need, you know, a housekeeper. None of that happened. It's still Marcia, still your life that you have, but it's a totally different approach that you've had. And so, and I know that you've had situations, you know, with the kids and, you know, with life that have come up. How have you, I guess, what's been the mindset when you feel those stressors coming on? What's been the difference, and how have you recognized that that's a stressor, and how you're responding? What's changed there?
I almost can feel a physical change in me. Like, I can feel my shoulders kind of creeping up high and almost feeling just sick to my stomach when stress comes in. And so having a physical response to that now, that I think it was always there, but I was just used to it. But now I just recognize that. So that's changed for me. Being able to ask myself, you know, is this true? Is this really what the situation is? Or is this what I'm perceiving it to be? Kind of stopping myself in my tracks. I have a lot less imaginary conversations where I imagine how both sides are going to play out. And then of course it never happens that way. But I've had a lot less of that, because I don't go down that rabbit trail anymore. And I think also just realizing that there are circumstances that I can't change, but I can change how I respond to that. And so I can choose to respond in love. I can choose to pray about it more and just to say, this is out of my hands.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's out of my hands, I don't need to worry about it because there's nothing I can do to change this situation for what it is.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to just have those tools to implement when those stressful situations come up has just been incredible, because I think I was floundering so much with that before, that I didn't know how to go about changing it. I knew that I didn't like it, but there was nothing I could do to change it, or so I thought. So now knowing that I can change that and I can change how I respond to that and how I approach it has been a gift.
Yeah. And I just love that, because that really is the key to all of this. If you believe that you can go into this and make choices, and I say so many times, stress is a choice. And a lot of people don't like that because, like you said, like, hey, this is my life.
You don't know me.
Yeah. You don't know what I'm doing, right? And I don't. But I also know that it's all about how we perceive that circumstance. And sometimes we can change the circumstance. But a lot of times we can't, if, like in your situation, like you have a child, with special needs, that's not a situation, that's not a circumstance that you can change, but how you approach it every day. Like that's the difference, and then there are the things, that you can change, like we talked about, like boundaries, and we talk about, the lifestyle that you create, and, what are you saying yes to, and how often are you saying no? Are you saying no at all? And that makes the biggest difference there. But I love that you realize now, hey, like this is completely, within me. I know my limits. I know what I can do, and this is my situation, in life. And I just have to change the way that I'm approaching it.
Right.
And having more of, a joyful spirit, so that, that's impacting the people that you're around as well. So, so now tell me, what would you say if someone came up to you and said, what did you think about this Revitalized Wellness program? And like, who should do it? What would your answer be for that?
It's so funny because I think it was in one of your statements that you help like high achieving women, manage their stress and feel better and stuff. And I remember in my message to him, like, well, I'm not a high achieving woman. I'm a stay-at-home mom. And
you're a high achieving woman.
I am a high achieving woman. But knowing that that's a calling too. And that's like, I have a lot on my plate, and I am high achieving in that sense. But that was also a shift in my mindset too, thinking I don't fit your business model. Like, you're trying to help these savvy business women who are all these career types, and that's so not me. So I think realizing that by high achieving, it's just any woman who wants to be better and to feel better, who have goals that they've put aside for other reasons, or who kind of dismiss their dreams. And so for me, like, I had given up hope on ever losing weight and feeling good ever again. And so having that dream kind of pushed aside for taking care of my family, and realizing this is a good program for anyone who has stopped putting their oxygen mask on first. And so like, you have to put it on yourself before you can put it on your kid.
Yes.
The airplane is going down. And I had stopped putting my mask on first for so long. So that's who, anybody who can identify with that and relate to that, that's what this program is for, I think.
Oh, I love that. Preach. I love it. And that is the heart, and I remember you reaching out to me and you said, like, I don't think I really follow the guidelines of, like who your target market is, but, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And it was funny because, as we, kind of went on, through the program, and, even before that, I said, oh no, like you are definitely like the target person, because It's any woman that continues to just drive themselves, just drive and drive and drive, no matter what it looks, if you're at home with kids or you're, in a boardroom or you're running your own business, whatever it is, if you're continuing to push and drive and you are saying yes to everything else, but you're saying no to sleep. You're saying no to time to rest. You're saying no to caring for yourself. You're saying no to, eating, good, whole, unprocessed foods. You're not taking the time to have any sort of exercise because it's basically, from sun up to sundown, you are just going. We had some interesting conversations because you were like up, burning the midnight oil, doing stuff for kids for school at like midnight. And I'm like, you can't keep doing that. So I would say like anybody, like you said, that is not putting on their own oxygen mask first, and everybody and everything else comes before your own health, then yes, that is what Revitalized Wellness is for that type of woman that is just struggling to put yourself first. And if it's because of guilt or if it's just because, you have too much to do, too much on your plate, that varies. But either of those situations, you're not choosing your health first. You're not choosing to take care of yourself. Is there anything else that you want to add or, thoughts kind of going forward now that you're done with the program?
I can't wait to keep going with this. So that's the best thing is that, these models, it's a 12-week program, but I know that I have a coach and a friend for life in this, and somebody who can kind of steer me back on track if I get off track. But just to be able to keep going with this and to keep putting self and my health, first, and to making that a priority, because it hasn't been for a really long time. Mm-hmm. So I'm incredibly thankful for that. So if anyone's on the fence or hesitating, get off the fence, call Erica.
You're the sweetest. You're the sweetest. And I absolutely know 100% that you are going to continue to do well, and you're going to continue to put these principles into practice. It's life, and it is a practice, and it's not like, you just woke up one day or, all my clients, like, oh my goodness, glory be, I am fixed. I am healed.
I have arrived.
But because it's life.
It's not. Yeah.
We still have to do this dance, and things get thrown at you, but I really feel that you have just displayed excellence in how you've, because you're a high achiever, but
yes.
And that I would say, like, there's the thing that my clients stand out in is that a lot of them, most of them, like 99% of them, they do really well with this program because of the type of character that you have. You displayed that, you went all in, and I have loved seeing the results and just seeing the glow come back to you.
Thank you. Me too.
You always have a special glow about you, but I would say that, you're even more radiant now, and I can just tell that, things are lifting.
Yes,
don't
very much so.
Have heaviness on your shoulder. So thank you so much talking with me and for sharing your experience.
Thanks for letting me share my story.
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Talk to you later.
All right. Bye.